Hi, I'm Steph, and today we're going to test the best way of blowing up this right here. And this is actually considered a kayak by the Body Glove company, but you might be looking at it and think, oh, that's a stand-up paddleboard. Well, it can be both. So it's an inflatable stand-up paddleboard or kayak, or SUP as me and Mom like to call it. So this is Mom's right here, and we recently showed her kind of first impression of it, and she loves it. So I'll put a link to that below. But we had some trouble. We first used the hand pump to blow it up that came with the SUP, and that took too long. That was no fun. I did not enjoy that. And I said, okay, we're getting the attachment. So we actually have a Ryobi battery powered high volume and high pressure pump. It has both, and we tried that, but we didn't have the right attachment. So we ordered the attachments on Amazon, so we're going to try those out today. We also ordered a very well rated SUP pump from Amazon, and that's what we're going to test out to see how that works. So let's get started. We started by plugging the pump into the car, and then we went over to the pump and we attached the hose to the SUP. This actually comes with a couple different attachments, so we used the one that worked for our SUP, and then we attached the hose to the pump. And a very easy display here, we turned it on and we set the PSI to 15, which is the maximum pressure for this SUP. And you want to be aware you can set it in PSI or bar. PSI is probably what you want to be reading because that's the number that we're most used to. Bar is something a little different. I actually don't know what it stands for, but if you have it in bar, then you're going to be really confused because basically this one takes 15 PSI or 1 bar. And here it is inflating. You can actually hear a sound difference after it goes from high pressure to high volume. You can hear that sound. At the end of the video, I'm going to say it took 10 minutes, but as I'm editing this, I'm realizing it actually took 8 minutes and 22 seconds to do this. And here it is nice and strong. And I will say this is pretty easy to deflate just on its own, but we tried that feature as well and it deflated really well. So now we're moving on to the Ryobi battery powered pump, and this again has two sides, one for high volume and one for high pressure. So this is the adapter for the high volume first, and on the Ryobi it has a connection already there, so I took that off and I added the new connection that we need for the SUP, and then I attached that back onto the Ryobi. And because it has two separate sides, you use the mode button to pick which side. So I'm first using the left side, which has the little inflatable bed on it, and just hit the start button, and it's going to start doing high volume. So it's going to push a lot of air through fast. And you can hear the difference when it needs to have the high pressure, which is what I'm switching over to now. So I'm taking this nozzle out and I'm going to add the attachment for the high pressure. And so I'm connecting the other side of the Ryobi inflator here. And this is a nice strong connection. I'll put links to these two connectors in the description. And then I'm going to hit the mode button to go to the tire side. And then I'm going to set the PSI to 15. And I will hit the start button for it to start inflating. And I will say we filmed the whole time, but it's just pretty boring. So I'll just let you know it took about 20 minutes to do the whole thing. But I am pretty impressed that it did not use up the battery at all. There were still 2 ticks left on the battery. And it took longer, but you can see the SUP is still nice and strong. And the Ryobi can deflate as well, but all we did is push the button right here, and this will make all the air start coming out, and it pretty much deflates on its own within a few minutes. So that's how we've been doing it without having to use the power pump for that. Okay, so we tested, I will say, all 3 methods. Number 1, hand pump. No, I'm not doing it again. Number 2 was the actual SUP pump. Now that took about 10 minutes. And I think that works. I think that's the best solution, as long as your car is going to be near you, and where we go, that probably will be the case. So I think we're going to keep that one. It was a little bit more expensive than the other ones on Amazon, but it got a really high rating on paddling.com, so that's why I went ahead and ordered that one. It is a little bit loud, so I would recommend putting some earplugs in, just so you're, you know, don't have to deal with that. Now the Ryobi, I will say we love Ryobi. We're tool girls. We love working with tools, and Ryobi is one of our favorite tool brands. And it worked well, but it took about 20 minutes to do the inflating of this. Now, again, this pump is not for SUPs, so that makes sense that it took a little bit longer than the traditional one, but it's battery powered, and I was super impressed that the battery lasted the whole time. So it's a 6 amp battery and still had 2 ticks left. So it only used a little, probably over half the battery to blow up this whole thing. So I was really impressed. And I think we're definitely going to keep those attachments for the Ryobi battery powered pump. So if we need to in a pinch use that one, we can. But I think we're going to ultimately use the plug-in car one that is made for SUPs because it didn't take as long. But overall, I think these are 2 good options. More power to you if you want to use the hand pump, but that's not me. So thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great day.